everyone, we're your Post-Gazette reporters here at Steelers OTAs on Wednesday, day 2 of OTAs. I'm Chris Carter, he's Ray Fittipaldo, and as always, these updates are brought to you by Savinas, Kane, and Gallucci. They're your mesothelioma and asbestos lawyers with over 85 years of experience. Call them today for a free consultation. Ray, it was a wet one out there today. Mike Tomlin saying, hey, we're not practicing indoors, we're taking advantage of the elements, and the Steelers got wet out there on their second day of OTAs.
They could have done it in here, in this
Right
fabulous facility. We all could have stayed dry. They could have stayed dry. But, yeah, some wet ball action today. They're going to have to play in these elements in November, December, so why not do it now?
Absolutely. Now, you and I talked about this on the podcast for Wednesday, but let's talk about the fact that I finally got to talk to Broderick Jones. You also talked to Troy Fautanu. These two, of course, the first two first-round picks of Omar Khan's regime. You got Broderick Jones at left tackle now, Troy Fautanu at right, getting a sense of them. What was the sense that you got from them, just talking to them about their initial first steps of trying to get it all together this year?
Just talking to Troy first, he is almost all the way back. They are easing him into things this spring. He's not out there full go yet, but his expectation is by once training camp gets here, pads go on full time, he's going to be ready for that. So he talked about his recovery last year, how it was so hard for him. He earned a starting job, and then that injury took it away from him. So he's eager to get back out there, but he's also being cautious. He's going to be ready a month from now, but he doesn't want to push it.
And that's a good point. That's a good plan here because the Steelers, they missed having their first round pick last year when he got injured early in the season, and that kind of messed up things. So you have one guy on the right side there. Then you have Broderick Jones finally going to the left side, which is something that he's talked about wanting to do. He didn't really make too big of a stink of it in his first 2 years, but now he said it today, I'm more confident on the left side. I'm more familiar with it, and it's getting my sense back, and that's what he's worked on. He also talked about how he's lost weight. He said he weighs around 305 right now. He plans that way he can just gain weight through muscle as he continues to train going into the season. But he definitely had some changes he wanted to make sure he was ready for his third year.
But that's a big difference. He played at 325 last season. He's down to 305 now. I doubt, Chris, that he's going to put on 20 pounds of muscle between now and September. So let's say he even gets up to 315, and that's a good 10 pounds of muscle. That's still 10 pounds less. I think that's going to help him move better out there. You saw him last year, some struggles in space when he was pass protecting. So, we talked about it on the podcast, third year in, you learn how to take care of your body. Hopefully that's a positive for him going.
And that was you hit on the point that I was going to talk about there. As far as left tackle, when you're offensive lineman, you're losing that kind of weight. You're trying to get quicker on your feet, and that was one of Broderick Jones' biggest problems at times. Was his footwork and his handwork weren't always in the best positions. And again, part of it's being on the right side, but it's clear he's doubling down. He's not just relying on him being on the left side, the side that he's more familiar with. He's also making sure he's in the best shape that he's been in as a professional, and now he can be quicker, be more agile, be more athletic, and that way he's getting to his spots, and now it is just about, hey, technique. We're not tired. We're not worn down. We're getting ready. So really good signs from both of them. The other group that we really talked to today were the cornerbacks. Both Darius Slay, who wasn't there on day 1, was here on day 2. Joey Porter Jr., both of them talked. I thought it was interesting hearing both of their perspectives. Slay as the older veteran, Joey Porter as the younger guy. But Joey Porter kind of talked about he relishes in this opportunity because now he said that he's Patrick Peterson, friend for life. The guy he talks to, he said Dante Jackson, friend for life. The guy he talks to, Darius Slay, now he's excited to build that connection. And hey, Peterson, Slay, those are 2 all-pros right there.
Yeah, it's nice to have mentors like that and guys that you can learn from. But eventually, Chris, they are going to have to get a longtime partner for Joey Porter Jr., and they have to find out about Joey Porter Jr. this season. Is he going to be that guy that you want to sign to a second contract, and is he going to be here for 8 to 10 years? I mean, I think that's the expectation, but I don't think his season last year was anything close to what it has to be, and I think he has to improve.
He does, and it's kind of the same situation for him and Broderick Jones. For first 2 picks of the 2023 draft, first picks of Omar Khan's tenure as a GM for the Steelers, and both of them in the same position. Yes, Broderick Jones could get the 5th-year extension at the end of this season and then have another year to kind of push that off, but they've got to both earn it. They've got to both go into next season with the Steelers feeling confident, hey, these are 2 of our long-term guys at 2 key positions: tackle, the primary offensive line spot to block edge rushers, and corner, the spot that you take away the number 1 wide receiver.
It's funny we're talking about that. The 2 biggest questions on the offensive line, right tackle and left tackle. I think right tackle because of Troy Fautanu's injury history, left tackle because Broderick Jones, let's face it, has not played up to expectations.
Yeah.
There's not too much talk about Zach Frazier in the middle,
right,
or the guards. I think the expectations are that's going to be solid. So it's interesting. First round pick over here, first round pick over here. Those are the two question marks, and those are the two questions that have to be answered.
Absolutely, and they want to see answers from them. But going to the secondary, Joey Porter Jr. being a guy, he said, hey, he's worked on things. He feels like, hey, he's not that far off. He's not getting beat by yards at a time by receivers. He's not losing there. But he did acknowledge he needed to improve, and he talked about how excited he is to have Gerald Alexander back in the fold, because he was here when he was a rookie, went away for a year to the Raiders, came back now, and he's excited to work with him. So there's a familiarity there, but he's also excited to work with Slay, who's a person he said he studied as a kid, and now he's here playing next to him.
Yeah, we talked to Deshaun Elliott yesterday. Deshaun Elliott said, what's the biggest difference between Grady Brown and now the new secondary coach? He said, intensity.
Yes.
This guy is intense. He's going to get after you if you make a mistake. And let's face it, these guys are professionals, Chris, but when you make a mistake, sometimes it has to be reinforced through that kind of coaching. I think that's what Mike Tomlin was looking for. I think he wanted someone to come in there, clean up what's going on in the secondary. We saw last season a lot of communication problems, right? So I think hopefully the expectation is with the coaching change, that will change as well.
Look, if you know Gerald Alexander, you know him from the years he was here before then, he's going to let you know when you make a mistake. He's going to let you know. And he's not going to call you all some names outside your mom tonight names you, but he is going to say like, hey, this got to get fixed now. We're not waiting for this. And that was a big problem with the team last year was communication. Guys being in the wrong spots, guys not knowing who to cover in certain situations. Those are the things that they hope to clean up this year, especially with a guy like Slay, who's used to communicating.
And I think that's one good reason why Slay is here, at least. He missed yesterday, but he's here. Maybe he'll be here more consistently. You want your starters to get on the same page with Deshaun Elliott, with Minkah Fitzpatrick, with Beanie Bishop or Brandon Eccles, whoever is in the slot. So, Darius is a pro. He's gonna know what he's doing out there, but he's got to know what Joey's doing. He has to know what Minkah's doing. That's how the whole cohesive unit becomes one.
And a sense of familiarity again too. He used to play under Terrell Austin when they were together with the Lions, and that was a big part of his growing up. So he returns to his roots there. Now he goes to Darrell Austin as a DC who's going to be asking, hey, we want to run these complex coverage schemes. Can you fit what we're asking here? That's going to be very interesting to see. He also talked about, he's like, hey, I get to play next to an all-pro in Minkah Fitzpatrick, and so there's a lot of excitement from the young guys working with some of the old guys, and the old guys working with some of the young guys as far as what could happen in this secondary.
And that's the nice thing about adding a veteran. At this stage, they added him in March, but a guy like that is going to be able to figure it out with new teammates. If you did draft a guy who was going to be there would be a big learning curve. So I know we've talked about eventually, they're going to have to get that guy to play opposite Joey Porter Jr., but for now, Darius Slay is going to be a quick study, and he's going to be able to learn that defense.
Absolutely. We'll have more from you on OTAs in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Read about it at post-gazette.com. Find us here on your favorite podcasting apps and on YouTube to check out for our daily updates, as well as all of our daily content that comes out from all of our sports writers here at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. From Chris Carter and Ray Fittipaldo, thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow on day 3 of Steelers OTAs. Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.